So, good evening, dear participants. Welcome to the certificate course in counseling skills, the third week, the second day. Over to Dr. Sister Shobha for your presentation.
Thank you, sir. Good evening to all of you. Hope you'll remember yesterday that we have covered about 6 to 7 steps on counseling. So the 13 steps counseling, we'll just revise the different steps, just pinpointing all this. So the first one, we prepared our mind mentally. The first phase was facilitative dimension, pacing, or the normal layman's term, it is mirroring. The first step for us was warmly welcome the client and make him or her comfortable with a small talk. Then the next is observe the body language of the client, attend the client physically as well as psychologically. Then again, modalities of physical attending. We spoke about solar, importance of silence. And the fourth one is letting the client tell the story that we spoke about, expressing types of problem, especially the 3 H's: head level, heart level, and the hand level, thoughts, feelings, and actions. Then the importance of listening, reasons for inadequate listening. The fifth step was reflect the content of what the client has said. Then a little bit about the helping skills we saw in a breakout room, the case study. Then we spoke about the evaluative, interpretative, supportive, probing, and understanding responses we as a client counselor. Then we depends upon those. We have seen the verbatim report, paraphrasing, and the Eric Bennett's ego state in nutshell. Then the sixth step was on dealing with the clients, the feelings of the client. Then pinpoint the problem, ask for a recent event connected with the problem when we are not thorough with the, or when we are not having a clarity with the client's story. There we, a little bit we discussed about the developmental problems, trauma and stress-related disorders, personality disorders. So today we are going to enter into the second dimension, that is reframing. It's something very, very important. We as a counselors, this is the action of the counselor. The success of the counseling depends upon reframing. So when we talk about reframing, it is a content reframing and the non-content reframing. We will not be touching on the non-content reframing. That is something connected with the therapy aspect of it. So we will discuss about content reframing. So when we talk about this content reframing, we need to think in two different concepts. One is the meaning and next is the context. We are going to reframe the meaning. Maybe the client would have come to us with emotional problems or behavioral problems. Client is not able to bring himself in a clarity state. So we are going to change the meaning of the client's story that is being said, or either it is a context reframing. So let's see what it is reframing. It is in reframing, we remove the old frame and substitute with a new one. I hope you understand. That is, the stimulus and context remain the same and constant, but the meaning they had been changed, and that is why the name meaning reframing. For a simple example is like when we keep different glasses with different colors, we see that color as projecting on us. Maybe like our younger age, we used to keep the glass paper and we look at the sky and say sky. If it is yellow, we say yellow sky. Or we used to say red glass paper means red, but actually the sky is blue. So we try to understand difference upon the concept that we have, perception that we have. Here we are trying to understand is the client is coming with a negativity. We are trying to reframe that negativity into positivity. So that is as simple as to explain. Just an example for meaning reframing. Here, Akash is 29 years. People make fun of him when I cry. They say only women weep and I should not weep as a man. I hate myself for being so sentimental. So this is a scenario of Akash, who is 29 years old. So when he is presenting the counselor says, I am wondering if you are not a person who is sensitive to others' feelings and that you can have very consoling to people in crisis with your empathetic understanding. So just reflect a few seconds. How did the counselor make use of this meaning reframing? You can even write it in your chat. What is your reflection as such? Or somebody else would like to say the answer for it. What is the meaning reframing in this case? If so, please raise your hands. We can unmute you. Okay, maybe you're getting into, so I'll go ahead. So here for the client, being sentimental was something negative, but the counselor made him realize that it is only meant to be a person capable of feeling for others. Your behavior and the context don't change. Only the meaning is changed. So if you see, the behavior is considered as sentimental, is not changed, and now counselor has changed it into sensitive. It makes a world of difference for the client. So just one word, sentimental, the counselor has changed it into sensitive. So it made a lot of difference. So the meaning has totally changed. So when the client comes to us, we need to identify whether the client is going through a problem with the meaning, understanding of the meaning of the problem or the context. So if it is meaning, please change certain words and easily you can identify or set a goal for the client or help the client to understand what is the problem the client is going through. So next is context reframing. Here we see context reframing is keeping the same meaning and the stimulus, but you change only the context. Here the preference is only the context. Again, example, Arya is aged 21 years. She says, my parents scolded me for being too outspoken. Just see the reply of the counselor. Your outspokenness has bring about a justice in many situations. Let's reflect just a few seconds. How did the counselor make use of this context reframing? So if you look at it, here outspokenness is considered something negative by the client's parents because they are thinking she's very outspoken, she will get into problem because she's only a young girl, and this is disturbing the client. So counselor is pinpointing out a context where outspokenness will be appropriate and welcomed. There are situations of injustice, and in those situations, outspokenness is considered positive since they will give the way for justice. So here we have changed the context. So if the client is coming to you, problem with the context, this is the way you can change the context of the client, and it is an easily approachable way you can help the client to come out of the problem. So what are some of the benefits of reframing? So obviously, we all know that aim of counseling is to change and growth or change or growth. It is precisely change that is called for reframing. So this growth or change that is helping you for reframing. Instead of getting rid of an unwanted behavior, you are teaching the clients use of the same behavior for something good. It's like a problem. When we have a problem, solution is within it. We as a counselors, we have to identify. So here the unwanted behavior is appropriate just because the meaning is given or the context in. So as a result, it is considered as negative. Therefore, instead of focusing on only the behavior, how best it can be made use of your own well-being, that is your client's own well-being. So reframing, you teach to respond in different ways. Remember, when they unwanted, what became positive for the client. Okay. So as it is said in psychology, a pain that is integrated or accepted is no more a pain. Okay, something when we accept it, okay, this is the process, I have to go through it. So then it is no more a pain. So for this action-oriented dimension, we need to have a lot of skills, which is already being covered by Dr. Balaya. Some of the skills, mainly we focus 8 skills that are needed: genuineness, respect, primary empathy, advanced empathy. I'm sure this is all in 6 covered. I'm not going to, but I just want to bring it into notice. Yesterday, ma'am was asking me about empathy fatigue. It is a feeling of a emotional and physical exhaustion that can occur from caring for others over a long period of time. Commonly we have seen is like helping professions like counselor and counsellors, where the counselor is becoming a empathic fatigue, or in case of a medical, a nurse is becoming a empathy fatigue in the hospital, working too long time. And nowadays we can also see in the families, parents are becoming empathy fatigue towards their children, too much of pampering. Or other side, when children are becoming empathy fatigue because of their aged parents. So these are some of the problems that is being happening. Again, suppose a person is a mentally ill, the family member is trying to help out that mentally ill patient. Towards the end, it can be a empathy fatigue. Then the next one is concreteness. Clients' experiences, feelings, and behavior. Again, yesterday what we have seen, the thought, feeling, and behavior or the action gives a clarity in thinking. The next one skill is challenging. That is caring confrontation or feedback, giving a feedback, genuine feedback. Self-disclosure, I know that already has explained very well. It is an intentional and useful sharing of counselor's experience bearing on the client's problem. Then next one is immediacy. It is a mutual direct talk. You and me is having the talk. That is a counselor and the counselee. So here we are trying to understand the emotions, feelings of the client's reaction. Is it applicable for the client? Or is it benefiting for the counselor? No, it's always should be applicable for the client as such. Then the next step is 8th one, personalize the client's deficiency. Almost we are reaching to the midpoint of counseling. Here what we are trying to understand is personalizing the client's deficiency. That is what the client is doing, what the client is not doing that contribute to his problem. Keep in mind, it's not only what the client is doing, what the client is not doing also can create problem. So here we use, as we said it yesterday, you see, you may, or feel. So here feel, big continuation is here, because you did it, because you did not do it. Yesterday we saw it a bit about is only you feel as such. Here the continuation is because you did it and because you did not do it. So here you will be able to analyze or personalize the client's deficiency. So now we are going to have a real turn towards counseling. From now on, the process of counseling takes a different turn. This is done that comes to especially focusing on the goal of counseling as it. To arrive at the goal, personalizing is very essential. Personalized becomes a more of a goal as such. We tend to take responsibility of our actions. Example, a child was unsteady and stumbles on a stone, and the elders taught us a trick. Make the child to beat the stone or the floor. Or suppose the child is going and hitting the table, and to satisfy the child, the parent will go and beat the door or the table. So that child is happy that because of the table only I fell down, now I am happy. So this is the mentality we have already created within us. As a result, when we are becoming adult also, we have a tendency to put the blame on others. Obviously, in counseling section also. So later it will become a part and parcel of our life, always blaming others for the fault that we do. So remember, in every quarrel, both parties are to blame in some extent. Depends upon what degrees, how we need to assess it. So personalizing is an attempt that on the counselor's part, make the client realize his contribution towards the problem. Here, counselor makes the client understand where he starts with regard to where he has to go or where she has to go. To bring this person deficiency, the client's awareness is called personalizing. So it's something like internalizing the personal deficit, something that's lacking in the form of what one does that to contribute to the problem, or what does not do to the contribute to the problem. What is and what is not, what does and what does not as such. So this is just an explanation of personalizing the problem. Here the next step is 9th one. Find out the alternative frame of reference. So we already spoke about the reframing. Is there any other alternative frame of reference? Find an alternative frame of reference. You are using the formula. You feel because he cannot and want to. Because he cannot, the continuation of the problem, and want to, again the continuation of the problem. Yesterday we saw you feel. Now we are continuing with the because you cannot and want to. So here we need to understand the language of the client. So here the language of the client mostly will be like helpless type of client. They don't say I can't, but they don't. Problem, they look it is as if unsolvable problems are in front of them. I can't do it. A type of helplessness is always showed by the client. So for this, we need to come to an understanding. Problems are solvable always. Any problem, you can solve it. Again, when you have a problem, you look for the possibilities. You look for the solution. So that should be our attitude. That energy has to be put it into the client also. Then focus is on resources, not the deficit. Again, we all have a tendency, like when we have a gratitude practice, we say all about the good things that is being done. But we always have a tendency to see the negative. What we don't have, we will be complaining. No, we need to always focus on what we have rather than not what we don't have it. Then always have the mental attitude as future positive oriented. Then try to avoid the self-defeating behaviors like looking at the future in a dreadful way. You are having a self-doubt and you want to put yourself. So it's a self-defeating behavior. And keep in mind of having an open future. Look at life is not going to be always roses. Thorns also will be there. So look at the future in a positive way. And always we need to have another angle. Suppose a client is saying in one angle, we as a counselors who are people supposed to be balanced with our emotion, look at the another angle. Don't stop with only the story what the client is telling us. So look at the another angle, what it is, what more can be. Then changing the role. Again, what the role is, client is telling, you can also change the role of the client and look at it in a different way. Again, challenge one's values. You need to challenge the values, especially like some of the values that we hold on. That values can be challenged. Challenging one's belief. Most of our problems starts with certain type of beliefs. So can you challenge the client's belief and tell him, put it in front of him, if this is the way how you are going to deal it, if this is the way how you are coming into a conclusion, then always try to use the I statement. Help the client to use the I statement. The 10th point is employ problem-solving technique, behavioral strategies, and action program. If you look at the PPT, you can understand from the problem, that is from the O itself, the solution is coming out. So remember, even in our ordinary day-to-day lives, whenever we have a problem, normally what we do is we go on thinking about the problem. Can you stop that problem and think about the solution? Same thing has to be applied in counseling setup. When the client is coming with a problem, help the client to stop thinking about the problem, because you have had in the facilitative stage, sufficiently they have explained about the problem. Now, no more thinking about the problem, but start thinking about the solution or start thinking about the possibilities. So that will help the counseling in a smooth way. So initiating the action of the client, finding leverage, a reasonable return on the investment of the sources of the client and the counselor. So let's have a detailed study about it. So in a counseling setup, make sure always attend the crisis first. Now, for example, last time we had gone to Kanyakumari for tsunami day for counseling. We could never do the counseling for the first month because they were going through a trauma that the waves are coming up or the trees are falling on them or their parents are flown into the sea. All this way, they could never connect with themselves. They can only still imagine, even after 1 month, they could only imagine the crisis that was going on. So I'll always keep in mind, in a counseling setup, first attend to the crisis first. Then attend to the pain, especially when we go for counseling with the cancer patients, HIV/AIDS patients, or kidney problems. All this, when we know it is that we need to attend to their pain, the physical suffering they go through. Then only you can enter into the emotional problem as such. Then attend what the client considers important. Here, we are not giving our preference. What is the preference of the client? What is important? The client is considering to be important. Focus on to those problems. Then always attend to the manageable sub-problems, because sometimes the too many problems will be there, or one problem will be very huge. So look at the sub-problem, whether we are able to solve it. Then attend to the problem that will yield general improvement. Again, specific, but general improvement has been given preference. Attend to the problem for which benefits will outweigh the cost. The cost is important here, outweighing the cost asset. Then in all this, instill confidence in the client. So crisis management is very, very important. We as a counselors, and we need to keep in mind the step-by-step process in order to lead the client into a successful stage or help the client to be in a balanced emotional stage. Here, again, problem and solving. Helping the client commit themselves. Again, create an environment by saying, I don't think the client is already a disturbed person. So we as a counselors need to create an environment for them, or make them understand this is a situation. Economy in action, of course, as we said it already about economy in action. Reaching the goal through certain strategies. You can have a step-by-step strategies for the client that we will be dealing it in the goal settings time. Then suspend judgment. As I said it in the beginning itself, no judgment, no bias. We need to create a non-judgmental attitude, non-judgmental thinking. Encourage more strategies. You can also help the client to bring out his or her own strategies. You need not give by as a counselor all the strategies that you know it. Make the client to bring out on. Then encourage a little bit of crazy thinking also is good, because they have a tendency to go in a one road. No, we as a counselors look at the different roads where we can reach our goal. So in different ways. So a little bit of crazy thinking is, maybe a little bit of creative thinking is needed. Then let the client choose a strategy. Always remember, you give the different strategies, let the client choose. You need not even say that this I prefer. No, let the client choose whatever is right for the client, because they know better than us what is needed for them. Then make use of the old strategies. Suppose the client was already using certain strategies, they might explain to you that this is the one I was looking, and I'm quite happy about it. Especially in school counseling and college counseling, I notice is that certain type of method they have already started. Allow them to go ahead. Maybe setting up a timetable or the method of learning. All this, if they have done it, go ahead. Let us not put new into it. If it is, you can propose to them. If it is a new something, according to the technology base or something, you can always offer them, but look at the old strategy, what they are following. Then sustain the strategy. So few works of a counseling's task. Here we are giving the counseling or the client. Willingness to appropriate. Help the client to enter into action. Help the client to take the risk. Plunge into a future. Hope for the best. This is not that easy as I speak here, because their mindset is something different. So we have to again create an environment, then courage to carry out. Give them a cut and right answer saying that, come on, let us be courageous. Come on, carry out this. The outcome is going to be different. It's something supportive for you. Then sustained attempt. Maybe in the midway we might fail. Failure are common in any course of actions. Failures take it as a stepping stone for success as we speak. So a type of encouragement is needed. Even if you fail, let's go ahead. Then resuming after a relapse. Clients should be prepared for setback as part of the process of attaining goal. Quite often I have noticed like some clients, half the way they will stop. They want to stop it because they get exhausted. So we need to again encourage the client to resume after a relapse, after a period of time. Let's resume. You can encourage the client, or if it is a children, or you can encourage the parents. Then invest in the maximum, the optimum level. Client mobilizes all his energies. Maybe I would rather say as a help the client to use all the senses, not only hearing or seeing, all the senses can be used. Efforts and resources attain the goal. Show them what are the resources available, what are the efforts that you need to have it, then committed to give the best. So we as a counselors, especially help the client, and we are committed to give the best and help the client to give the best to solve their problem. I hope you get it clear. Not only our effort, help the client to be committed to do their best. That is a responsibility as a counselor. So the 11th step is insights, helpful practical tips. First and foremost is encourage the client to change what can be changed. So the most important is encourage the client to change what can be changed. Second one, let the client accept gracefully what cannot be changed. I hope I did not explain all this. Then prepare the client for the worst. Prepare the client to be happy with whatever decision he has made. Again, these insights, at times I have noticed clients are not willing to accept that. Again, we need to encourage them to accept. We need to create an environment or situation to accept this type of insights, which will help them to set a goal, help them to come out of the problem, balance their emotions, create a positive mindset, and use all their efforts in order to face the crisis that they are going through. The next point is define and operationalize the goal. So when we talk about defining the goal, maybe nowadays we call it as a manifestation, a daydream the goal. The other end, you're looking at it is the success is already acquired, or the success is already, we got it as such. Then look for the possibilities, the power of possibilities, how to solve it. So when we define the goal, we need to keep in mind some of the points are always define the goal with outcome-oriented goals. We want some outcome. Here, the client is coming with behavioral disorder. We want to see there is some behaviors are changed in the client. So that is what is the most important for us. Then goal with impact. Some impact has to be there because almost so many sections we have done it. And from the day first session onwards, there should be some impact in the counseling. Goals with no obstacles. So when we set a goal, preferably avoid or pre-plan or pre-think, is there any obstacles we are going to face? In that case, let us not get into or change that goal. Then goals under one's control. The goal which you're taking may be a bigger goal, then you are having a sub goals. So it has to be under your control. So help the client to understand this goal is achievable. Again, we will be seeing that. Then economic goals, again, when we talk about the money aspect of it or the energy, money, energy that is being coming, then goals consonant with their values. It should be aligned with their values. Then goals with the time frame. Maybe like you can tell the client, suppose the client is coming with the difficulties of pronunciation. Yesterday we had a client who was saying that I'm not able to pronounce the word as such. Then I was asking the client whether you can get an expert who can help you out. So set the goal within the time frame, within 3 months, you can come out of this problem. You will be able to pronounce English so well. So certain time frame has to be given so that when they know that deadline is there, they will make effort every day. So that is the goals with the time frame. The next one is keep the goal smart. We need to keep the goal very smart. That is, you all know about the SMART, that is specific goals. We have to set it in front of the client, or we make the client to set it very, very specific goals, something that is very measurable. They can measure it. Okay, I can achieve this goal. Then something that is very, very achievable goal, and something very practical or realistic goal. T, that is a tangible goal, a time-bound goal also is called as. It is referring to satisfaction of the client from the achievement of the goal. Once the goal is achieved, the client is getting the total satisfaction. The client cannot achieve with interest and motivation. So this achievement is the frequent encouragement by the counselor to have more interest and motivating the client as such. Next is operationalization, the goal. So here what we are trying to do is break the goal into smaller units and let the client proceed step by step. Here I have written one of the NLP professor, Dick Hook, said, one could really eat up a bicycle. So it was very astonishing and very much always wondering, how is it possible to eat a bicycle? What he explained was, first, break the bicycle into pieces, then powder them into fine dust, and take a pinch of dust, and eventually you would have swallowed a bicycle. So you can imagine what is the drive home message here. So anything is possible for us. So any impossible thing can be achieved when we make that into a smaller units and working on a small unit at a time. So nothing is impossible for us. It's possible for us. So when we look at the advantages are such, the client does not realize the burden of it. When we operationalize the goal or when we have a sub goals, the client will not realize the burden of it because it's not a big mountain to at a time you have to achieve that goal as such. Then seeing the success of the achievement of a small sub goals, the client is encouraged to go forward. So each time when one sub goal is achieved, the client is feeling happy. Positive energy is created, especially like positive hormones, dopamine, endorphin, oxytocin. All these hormones are produced, and the client will feel, okay, this I have achieved, and the next milestone also I can achieve it. And the third part of advantage is that get applause from the counselor for his success, which in turn will do a reinforcer. So each time when he get a clap or a pat from the counselor, he thinks that it is a reinforcer for me. Even in the future, I can have this type of encouraging him will help them to reach their goal as such. So before going to this, Dr. Balaya sir, can we go into the break room session? Can we go into break room session?
Yeah.
Here, just discussing 3 of you together in a group, all that we have spoken, the different steps, except what the last step, we have explained the 12 steps. So we'll go into a group of 3 and just have a discussion about it. And we'll come back and we'll have a sharing, and anything that is not clear, we will have a clarification. You're welcome to ask questions.
So these are the questions that they have to share, right, sister?
No, they only have to discuss about the 12 steps. The last one I left it. They'll have to share the 12 steps.
Sure. So, okay. So I am breaking into rooms. Let me try how many people are there. All right.
For
Mr.
each
Mohan?
one, timing, each one will get 2 minutes. So about 6 minutes.
Okay, I am creating the rooms. Participants, please be ready. Once the rooms are open, we need to enter inside. So if you're late, then you may not be able to enter. You'll be put outside the rooms. Mr. Mohan, I'm opening all the rooms.
Sir?
Yes, yeah. Kindly unmute the mics, please. So we have already broken into rooms.
Sir, done, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Participants, please join the rooms. I say, yeah, room number 1, 2 people have joined. The others have not yet joined. Room number 2, 2 have joined. Room number 3, 2 have joined. Room number 5, everybody has joined. Vichi, Kirtana, and Harshita Shenoy. Sister?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you are also in one of the rooms.
I think 52 or something I saw it.
32.
32. But now I did not join. I can close all rooms here. On my lap,
No,
on my
you
lap,
cannot.
I cannot
Yeah,
close.
it's a time, sister. Shall I close?
6 minutes.
Shall I close?
No. Few minutes are there, sir.
Okay, all right.
Each one will get 2 minutes to share. Okay, so I'm not talking.
अरे भैया माइक बंद करो. Only the participants are allowed to join the groups, not your children, not your neighbors, please.
They may not be able to hear, I think. Some still have not joined.
Room number 50 is vacant. Nobody has joined.
Sir, hello.
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sir, this is Mr. Nanda.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
Mr. Nanda. Yeah.
Sir, I was in room number 50. Actually, I was the only participant in that room. That's why I just left the room.
Now somebody has joined. Gunasundari has joined.
Okay, I just left the room because there was no one. Okay.
No.
Okay, sir. This, I thought I'll just come out and at least ask ma'am a doubt. Is it okay?
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, sister.
Yes.
Yeah, we can. Mr. Nanda has got a doubt.
Yes. Sister, I have a doubt. I work in a college in Chennai. Now, we have several students in our college who have behavioral issues and several other issues like substance addiction. Now, a problem we have is they are reluctant to come for counseling when we ask.
Yeah.
Is there a way to address someone who is reluctant to attend to the words of the counselor?
Yeah.
And how to reduce the reluctance in a
Simple term to use is one or the other way you build a relationship with that client. As a student, maybe the class coordinator or whoever is the professor, if it is in the college, since it is college, somehow build a relationship. Maybe you may not be able to build a relationship directly. Maybe his own friends you can use to talk to them. And through the friends, or is there any relationship between the parents? Can we call the parents and speak to them, say that we observed certain things, we want to give them some help, are you willing for it? Can you help your son or daughter to come out of it? So these are the different ways you can help out. First and foremost, I know who are his friends or her friends, then through that way we can.
Sister, sorry to impose, but the problem is this particular student, she has several behavioral issues, and her mother is also the type of person who's supporting her. Like whenever she does something, the mother is coming up and saying extra lies to us and saying that, oh, no, she was with, we knew that she didn't attend the college and just was wandering, or she was just, going out and all. When we ask the mother, she's also saying some other lie saying that, no, she was here. When we know that both of them are like, how to like fix something like this?
Maybe first you need to tackle the mother. The problem is with the mother. So once you help her understand what she is not saying is right, what she is saying is lie, then you can help the mother. Eventually, the mother will help out the daughter. So here first you have to tackle the mother. See, nowadays you can see parents, they will never give up their children. They will always say, my children are right. Especially in the college setup or school setup. When there is a problem among the students, when we call one parent, they'll say, no, my son is very good. The rest are all not okay. So first we need to give a counseling for the parents. What about the father in their house? Her father?
He is out of picture, sister. He is like a drunk who doesn't even turn up home at all.
Again, problem is with the parents. So what she has been observational learning that has been taking place is from the parents. Obviously, she will have a tendency to act just like them. So that matters. So here we need to again understand is like, do they have a social gathering place? Is the relatives are going to take them out? Is there a brother and sister or at home? Only she is a single child? Is she a single child?
No, sister. She has a sibling.
Can you do something with those siblings? If they are sensible or if they are able to understand this is a problem she's going through. So we need to see where we can enter in order to help bring out his reluctance or his resistance. So this is the only way we can think of.
Thank you, sister. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So all the participants will rejoin
Okay.
in 2 seconds. Yes, they are back.
Yeah.
So you could proceed, sister. They are already back on the
Okay.
main screen. Yeah.
So some of you could come out with the sharing what enriching experience you had by sharing the 12 steps. Are you comfortable with it? Or any further explanation is needed?
All clear as of now, sister.
It's clear. Okay, thank you. Anybody else? So practically, will you be able to do it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Any practical problem you have foreseen?
It will take a bit of time and experience to have it done and expertised on the system.
Okay.
Immediately is impossible. That much I can assure.
Yeah.
and sister, the two.
Anyway, this is no.
Yeah.
Somebody is saying something?
I shall continue after your replying to the.
Not clear? Can you open your video, please?
Sorry for interruption. You wanted to reply to that person, no? Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just waiting, ma'am. Sister.
Sir, it was not audible for me.
Excuse me, sister. Shall I tell?
Yeah, please.
Sister, the two examples that you gave was very clear that you can changing the context
Yeah.
and changing the meaning. These two were very much clear. Like you
Okay.
you are in a situation like you got something of negative. When you come to another person, that person is able to give you another frame
Yeah.
to see that in a positive way and to be that your strength. That was very appealing, and in two different contexts, it was very beautiful. It told.
Thank you.
ஃப்ரெண்டு ஒருத்தவங்க ஒரு பொண்ணு இருக்கு. அந்த பொண்ணு வந்துட்டு செம்பட்டையா இருக்கலாம் இருக்குல்ல, என்ன ஆச்சு நல்லா இருக்கும் சாஜி கருகருன்னு இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு. எனக்கு இது பத்தி டைங்கிறது எனக்கு தெரியாதா?
என்ன என்ன
என்ன?
மருதாணி.
அது வந்து நல்லா
Others-
ஃபுல்லா பேசி ஒரு தடவை எனக்கு
Those who are not talking, please mute your mic.
Good evening, ma'am. This is Viji.
Okay, good evening, ma'am.
Ma'am, I'm having a question.
Yeah.
Is perfectionism a self-defeating behavior, ma'am?
Perfectionism,
Is perfectionism a self-defeating behavior?
it depends. Depends upon the context, depends upon the person. We need to know where to put a bar. Perfectionism should not lead us into self-defeating, because imperfections are part of human being. So we can't be 100% always correct. Okay. Any further?
True, ma'am. And one more question.
Yeah.
How to stop self-sabotaging behavior? Because every time we used to start program for exercising regularly,
Yeah.
but generally we are not in a situation to continue daily.
Yeah.
How to stop?
I think we have to keep in mind 3 S's. One is self-motivating, self-education, self-learning. This has to become a part and parcel of our life, that, okay, today I'm going down, my energy is little low. Let me motivate myself. Because we are an adult, there is nobody is to tell you, okay, go ahead. So we need to motivate ourselves, educate ourselves, we need to learn by ourselves. Is it okay?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Good evening, sister. Can I ask one question?
Sure, please.
What type of effective technique we can use for dealing highly resistant client?
Highly?
Resistant client.
Okay. It's already, I think, the question I answered earlier. See, most of the cases who comes to us is either reluctant or resistant client. The only method I use is building relationship with the client. That is, we cannot do it directly. We have to do it indirectly. Now, for example, the client is a girl. Maybe you can talk to the parents, or you can identify the friends of a girl, or even if it is boy. Somehow, indirectly, you have to get into the client. Then, first and foremost, build a relationship. Help the client to understand that I am there to listen to you. I will be confidential to you. I am with positive attitude. I am here to help you out. I feel 99% of the reluctant and resistant clients will come out if you try out this method. Because from the past years of counseling, I have understood is building relationship is the essential to do counseling, especially in case of reluctant and resistant client. I think I have answered. Yes.
Yeah, I have a question to ask you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sure. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. So suppose if a person approaches me who tells that always they're getting a negative feedback. Anything, any work they do, it turns into be negative. Maybe the situation or the person, whatever it is. But every time it is all negativity. So how to motivate such kind of a people?
Okay. Now you have seen that meaning and the context reframing.
Yeah.
Here you need to assess the person's problem is connected with meaning or depends upon the context. Assess,
Okay.
if it is a meaning, you have to help the client. I think I have given you with example. You could go through it again, you will get it exactly what the client needs is. So if it is a meaning, change the meaning. So you remember the case study, we have done it. And if it is a context, change the context. Only if it is a context, you need not change the meaning. If it is a meaning, you need not change the context. So it depends upon the meaning and the context. You need to assess. Again, we as a counselors, we need to have a clarity over it. Then we will be able to help out to this type of client.
Thank you, sister.
Good, thank you. Maybe you could go through those PPTs once or twice. get it clearly, because that is a real counseling process we are starting with, meaning and the context.
Okay,
You
sister.
can
Thank
an efficient counselor if only you start really with that point. Half of your problems are solved as a counselor.
Yes, sister.
Thank you. Any other?
Good evening, sister.
Good evening.
I'm Dr. S. Jnana Saraswati. I'm not having any question, but I have a small reflection which I would like to share.
Okay.
All these sessions, we are talking about the relationship between the client and the counselor or counselee.
Yeah.
What I perceive is that to me, as a person, not as a counselor or something, it is really giving a lots of guidance to go ahead further, to understand self and to move ahead. And this way, once I start to understand myself, and it gives a better vision to look into the other person and to go ahead very positively. And I thank you and all the speakers and the Balaya sir for this wonderful course. Just a reflection I just wanted to share, sister. Thank you so much.
Actually, all these classes, it's not only for the counseling setup. In our ordinary day-to-day lives, it will help us to live a happy life, to create a positive attitude for our life and look at the things in a positive way. Especially most of our problem, where is it? In our relationship problem. Either we are in the family or in the office or wherever, professional ways or not, the most of our problems occurs due to the relationship and communication gap. So all this will help us in our ordinary day-to-day lives to live a happy life. Again, happiness is from within, doesn't depend upon others.
I roger that, sister.
Yeah,
thank you. I roger that. Thank you, sister.
Thank you. Thank you for your sharing too.
Thank you, sister.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Sister, I have one more question.
Yeah.
How can we navigate conflicting values with client?
Can you repeat it? How can you?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
How can we navigate conflicting values with client?
It's how can we conflicting values? I heard the between. I did not. It's not clear for me.
How can we navigate?
Yeah.
Conflicting values with client.
With the.
With
Sister,
client.
how do we deal with clients who have conflicting values?
Conflicting values. Okay, good. So we need to assess what are their values and see the pros and cons of each value. Is it conflicting to their way of living and what they speak? Dualism cannot be practiced here. So when they have a conflicting value, which means they're not having a clarity in their vision. So first and foremost, set a vision for them, get a clarity. As a result, we can help them to come away from the conflicting values. Again, positive mindset is important. A positive attitude is important. So some of the background we need to create when people have this type of conflicting of values. Okay.
We have Prem Lata has raised her hand for a very long time. Could you unmute your mic, please, and shoot your question? Yeah, you've been raising it for a very long time.
What kind of counseling will you give for a person who have fear to speak in front of others? Like in claustrophobia.
So can you repeat it? It's not clear. What
Yeah,
type of?
she's asking, how do we deal with clients who have phobias like social phobia or specific phobia? And the question is about social phobia.
Okay. So we need to know what is the background of the client, what is the age of the client, And so whether this client is a student or what type of, again, we need to understand the root cause of fear, the phobias. Then from there, we can start working it out. Like some of the therapies also we can apply. If the person is an educated, even including CBT can be applied. Or start with the small steps, helping the client expose themselves if it is in a situation, then we can help the client to come out of it. One is an exposure therapy. Second one is CBT we can apply.
Ma'am, she previously had a selective mutism in her childhood. Now she was facing fear to speak in front of others, not in all settings, but in front of crowd.
So not clear, please repeat. No, sir. Can't.
Yeah, once again, she's asking about
Yeah.
the fear to speak in front of others. Like she's talking about the stage fear that the child experiences. Like
Okay. In case of a stage fear, if it is in the school setup, exposure therapy is the best. May not be like standing in front of a big audience. In an imagination, you can help this child to stand in front of on the auditorium. No audience are there. 2-3 times when we help the child to respond, give out the speech or whatever it may be. So practice it till the child is able to face it. Again, few techniques like before going to the stage, they can take a deep breathing exercise. Take breath through the nose, let it out through the mouth. So that will help, because the carbon dioxide, when it comes out, a type of oxygen, when it is enters into the brain, a type of release refreshment will be taking place. So these are some of the techniques that is being advised, and practice is the best. And first and foremost, help the client to say that there is nothing so big about it. You are going to face it. And once you are on the stage, you are the hero of the program. There is nobody else is there like. So these are the imaginative way first to start with, then help the child to stand on the auditorium on the stage without any people. Then slowly, the child will be able to come out of it.
Ma'am, also, if a college student has fear towards higher authority, particularly to any one particular authority, what kind of counseling will you give, ma'am?
Okay, according to Freud's psychodynamic theory, it all would have began from the family, like authoritative figure. You need to identify whether the child is having a fear of parents or uncle or somebody like that. So if that is so, we need to tackle there in the family, starting from the family. Then naturally, if they are frightened of their parents, father figure, obviously the authority figure, there will be a fear, they will face it. So identify what
Yes,
is a
ma'am.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am, that client has fear towards her father.
Yeah, obviously the client will have a fear towards, especially men who are in the authority.
Yes, ma'am, for that, what kind of therapy will we give?
Again, we need to really identify the root cause. What are the other problems? Is it only that one? Is the fear of father alone? What is the other contributing factors or contributing problems that is existing? So maybe the client would have tried once or twice to talk to the higher authorities. Maybe they were in a different mood and they would have said a negative. So the client will be repeatedly having a negative thought. You need to stop repetitive negative thought from the client. Again, change that negative into positive, as we already saw it. So slowly helping the client to come out of that negativity, and then again help the client to go ahead with the talking to them. Because it's again, the problem is lack of self-confidence. Build self-confidence in the client.
Ma'am, if somebody has a ruminating thought, what kind of counseling we will give? Either it will be cured by medicine, or can we do with that, ma'am?
Always we try first with the different types of techniques, like therapies. if it is a failure, if it is not able, please go ahead for the, but preferably avoid for the medicine, because once you start medicines, the brain waves are getting suppressed and the chemicals reaction takes place. So preferably avoid. As me as a person, I don't advise people. I try my maximum. In case of too many problems the client is facing and unable to come out of it, then I suggest for a medical treatment.
Yeah, for that, what kind of therapy we can use, ma'am? Either CBT, like that, what kind we can use?
Not clear, not clear.
In that case, what kind of therapy or counseling we will give for them?
In this phobia case, fear?
No, ma'am. It's ruminating thoughts.
What is that?
In the case of ruminating thoughts, what kind?
Thoughts, like ruminating thoughts that I am a bad person, I am a loser, I am worthless, good for nothing, and things like that.
It's again a low
Mostly like
self-esteem.
depressive thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, the client is having a low self-esteem. We have to help the client to have a high self-esteem. Ways and means to help the client to have a high self-esteem. For example, if from the past, is there any victory that the client has done? Reinforce it. Help the client. Okay, if you can win for this, why not for the others? Reinforce. Total support you has to be given. If it is the parents are nearby, you can give the total support for the client. Or friends, among the friends also. Help the friends to tell him that, okay, you were able to do such and such a things. Why not this? So slowly with a supportive therapy and help him or her to increase the confidence level, especially the self-confidence level. A certain type of self-affirmation can be given to the client. Repeating morning and before going to bed and after getting up, I am capable, I have a good personality. So whatever depends upon the problem, you can create. Usually for the college girls and students, I write out certain self-affirmations. Then they will come out and say beautifully, sister, yes, I have done it and I am coming out of it. They will have a feeling that, yes, I am capable, I have self-confidence. Okay.
Thank you for your input, ma'am.
Very good. Thank you. You're always welcome. Shall we go ahead?
Yes.
Okay. So the last stage is make contracts and evaluate. So here is making contracts. Contracts binds actions with commitment and responsibility. Honoring the contract is a sign of one's commitment, personal integrity, and strength of character. Example here, client with a poor pronunciation. Just yesterday I had a client, so I thought I'll put that. So we need to have a goal setting. And I asked the client to read from 5 to 6 p.m. under a supervision of an expert. I also asked one of the teachers to supervise that particular person to have a reading practice. Then I told the client, you have to inform me over the phone every weekend that what is the progress you have made. What are the pronunciation that you have really learned it? And what is the accent that you used it? And also I gave them some apps that will help them have a better pronunciation. So this is the way you can make a contract and evaluation. Simple thing, but it will have an effect on the client. So evaluating is an assessment made on the performance of the counseling. So we need to have an ongoing evaluation, client-centered evaluation, self-evaluation, benefits of evaluation will see it. So it's a constant process. We can't just stop it like that, and always focus on to the client, and client always make a conscious effort to do a self-evaluation. So when we review the client task, the last stage, this is the last stage of evaluating. It is not the counselor who takes the initiative, but the client is important here. Look back at all that has happened, all the learning that has taken place, all the strategies that we have worked together, and how your goal has been achieved, and why that goal is not achieved. And if you find that you need to modify your goal setting, do it so. If you even really want towards the end, you think, no, this goal is not the correct for me, client is feeling, come on, we change it because now you got a clarity of it. And keep in mind, always be mindful of the contract that you have been. And be faithful to it, to your promise. Okay, then reviewing is not a waste of time, but it's a great learning process. Sometimes client will say, why it's all gone through, why should I review it? No, it is a learning process. You will become aware of it. You are reinforcing, you are strengthening your beliefs. Then counseling is not only to solve the problem that one approaches, it's also for your growth as such. A recent times, a few years back, I had an experience of working with the people in European countries. What I saw is people just before going for work, they will visit one of the counselors because they are stressed out. They really don't have a real problem as such, but a type of stress they are going through, a type of conflict they are going through. They are not able to make a certain type of decision. They are not able to solve certain type of problem. As a result, they visit a counselor. So every nook and corner, you can see counselors are sitting. Maybe in front of the office side, one corner of it, you can see counselors are sitting. And even the universities, there is a human lab where students can approach at any time counselors. Counselors, about 5-6 people will be sitting in the human lab. And students can just go, maybe just before the exam, they just wanted to share something to the counselor. So this is the approach we don't have it in India, especially in our own colleges and universities. Maybe we all could think of it. Okay, so these are some of the things. It's not only when they are sick, it is when they need to have some growth or some mind clarity in their mind as such. So all through life, we should be committed to growth. We should have maybe we may have certain type of pitfalls we had met earlier in our growth process. Look back and take it that as an experience and be committed. You as a counselor, and of course, counseling is committed for it, so that counseling knows that it is a need for. It's also a commitment from us as a counselor. So that is the end of 13 steps for counseling. And this is not a hard and fast rule you have to follow exactly. This is the initial stage we help to learn counseling. And once you have learned it, the concept of it, you can develop your own style of counseling. Now, for example, though I teach this, but my style varies. I'm sure all the other professors will agree with me. Each one will have a style, but keep in mind, these are essential. These steps are essential. Maybe it can vary also, but keep in mind, this is important to know it, which will help you to proceed with the counseling process. You won't get stuck with it.
Yes, well done, sister. And we have a question from Dr. Jnana Saraswati, one who follows our session so closely. Doctor, why did you come on the video?
Yes, sir, sure, sir.
I would like to see you on the video.
Yes, sir, sure, sir, sure, sir.
Yes, yeah, you have adjusted your camera.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. This much I could adjust.
Fine, yeah. Go ahead, yeah.
I'm sorry I couldn't do it immediately on the other day.
No problem, no problem.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, it's a very good idea about this human lab. And now my question is that to establish, we can definitely write it to the management, but to appoint counselors in that human lab, because the students starting from undergraduation to the post-graduation, it is adolescence and the little post-adolescent stage, so it is very delicate to deal with them. And if we establish a human lab, whom we can contact to get the best counselors, we can contact St. Joseph College, but what are the where to search or hunt for counselors to get appointed there? That is first question. Now that I'm learning this course, I'm very sure crossing 50 plus, I still have to train much exactly on the aspects of counseling that you are all teaching to us. So I don't think I can initially very strongly fit as a counselor. So what kind of counselors from where we can get, if at all, if we get permission from the management to establish a human lab for the welfare of the students, sister? Kindly clarify, please.
Okay, your first question, anyway, good questions that you have asked. It's something very really need for our country. Good that you had reflections. So first and foremost, we have in St. Joseph, maybe you can have be in touch with Dr. Balaya because he is the head of the department. We have students who are coming out every year. So you can get trained counselors. That is the first answer. Second one is, you have asked is like where we can really get the trained one, plus what is the other one as you said it?
Like now I'm there, if at all if I get a permission or approval from our own college management, I'm just trained only in this course. So I will not be a very strong counselor, no.
Yeah.
So in what other ways I can equip myself?
I mean, I'm sure St. Joseph is still planning to have updated certificate courses this way. Maybe that will be helpful. Or you can also ask the Balaya sir to help you out regarding this, because college like St. Joseph, I'm sure will be able to help you out. And plus practice. It's not only the counseling, in your day-to-day life, when you see a person, look at the person with a non-judgmental attitude. Look at the person with a positivity, and give importance to your way of communication. So these are the small things you can start practicing it, because none of us are expert. We are all learning still. We are all learning process, because each client comes to us is something with the different stories, and we learn from the clients. That is something to say. Each client is teaching us something. Though we are counselors, we are sitting with a degree, and they are paying us, but we are learning. So it is a learning process. I think till we go to graveyard, till the last client we meet, we are learning. So each client will give you some new insights. So start from your family, maybe with your husband. Don't judge. Don't say that I learned counseling and I am going to, no, nothing like that. Just casual talk, but observe their body language, their mental attitude, and what are the decision-making skills, problem-solving skills, how they are creative, how their critical thinking is, and what are the emotions. Basic is emotions. If you are able to manage your emotions and help your family members to manage their emotions, especially keep in mind the 3 negative emotions: anger, fear, and sadness. And always ask them to maximize their happiness. One technique maybe I can tell you is that be in touch with your emotions. Every day morning when you get up, just draw a 10-point scale and ask yourself, what is the level of your happiness today? Again, another 10-point scale. What is the level of your anger today? Same thing with the fear, sadness. So this will help you to be in touch with yourself. And once you know that this is a problem, that maybe one day you will feel that morning itself when you're getting exhausted because previous day's work is not finished, you are getting a deficit. You have not done it. So your fear level will be high, anger will be high, and the happiness level will be very low. Then you know that this is something that I am going through. So boost yourself, educate yourself, motivate yourself. No, come on, I need to be happy. So those type of small technique will help you to improve yourself.
Thank you, sister. I think we close for the
Thank
day.
you.
Ma'am,
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Saraswati
Sir.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I hope to, build the momentum that we have created this month. I hope to provide more classes in counseling skills in the near future to come.
Okay, sir.
So, yeah, so we'll keep you
Sir,
updated.
excuse me, sir, I'm having a question to remind, please.
To me or to sister, we close it. So if you have something to tell
Both
me,
of you,
can
sir, you
tell
both
me,
of you can answer my question. Because
okay.
What are the prerequisites for counseling cell in a college? Because even though we are attending this course, we won't be a good counselor. We can be a guidance for the students. That's it, right?
May I
We
know who is
cannot
talking?
go beyond a point.
May I
Who
know
are
who
all
is
the
talking?
members to be there in counseling cell? Because as we were listening to your words, it's a neuroscience and it's more of psychology, emotions, speech, everything is there. So whether the members to be included in counseling cell, psychiatrist, physician, everyone has to be there in the counseling cell. So my question is, for all there to start a counseling cell in a college?
Okay, let me answer. Sister, you would like to answer or?
No, you go ahead, sir. Because
Ma'am, Vijay ma'am, yeah. Basically, we need professional counselors to be working in the counseling cell. Yeah, and we expect a basic, master's degree to be one of the prerequisites to start in a counseling cell. And it's not just the master's degree alone. We actually require a strong practicum cum internship. Our degree program offers, both practicum and internship. And during the internship program, we expect the students to have 400 hours of direct client experiences. So, so that will be in a culmination of a program, right? So basically, we need to have, professional counselors who have gone through the program, postgraduate program in counseling and psychology. Of course, psychology is the foundation of counseling. Counseling psychology is one of the specialized areas, whereas psychology is a broad field. From psychology, they can branch out to any area of specialization like clinical psychology, counseling psychology, industrial psychology, or family counseling. So there are at the BSc level, it's a broader area. Basic psychology is the foundation, but the MSc level, it is a specialized area. So these are the requirements that are needed for someone to begin a counseling center. Did I answer your question, ma'am?
Sir, I'm not very clear with your answer because we have a cell called sexual harassment cell in a college. There are staff members running out this cell, but I don't think after listening to most of the classes.
But definitely, you must have a counselor. You must have a professional counselor. Yeah. See, you are talking about a situation in the college, but I am talking about a professional in a counseling center. So in the college, you have so many committees, and in the committees, maybe it is a sexual harassment committee or grievances cell and things like that. Definitely, you must have a professional counselor.
Okay, definitely it is true, sir. What are all the members has to be there in that counseling cell? If
who all are the members?
Because definitely we need a physician to support medical, and we need psychiatrists to solve some problems. So that I want to mention the members needed.
In our college, now we do not have a physician or a psychiatrist, but we have professional counselors, and in such committees we have lawyers. Yeah, to deal with any legal matters, we have lawyers and counselors, but we do not have a permanent permanent physician or a psychiatrist. It is not needed.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right, yeah. Yes, ma'am, Samarpita Roy.
Sir, I would
Go
just
ahead,
take that
yes.
question forward. If I want to become a professional counselor, what do I need to do given my age and all? Is it absolutely possible in my lifetime? And and secondly,
Well, I don't want to ask you age in public.
no, I
I
don't
can
mind saying
understand.
that also. I'm already 40 plus, so
No problem.
yeah, just a query because if I actually want to give help, if I want to help others, can I become a counselor? And in case I want to become, what all do I need to do and how?
Sure.
This is
I
my
just
question, sir.
want to give you the latest example that I had yesterday. Yesterday, I had someone who was, 51-year-old, and she was in stage for 16 years, and she was a mechanical engineer. Her husband and they came to meet me, and they heard from someone somewhere, if you want to do any PG program in counseling, go to St. Joseph's College. So they came to me, and I sat with them for some time. As soon as he saw my name board, that USA, and they were so much interested in me also. She was asking the same question, same question. I said there are uh, in our college, the university has got the age limit. Yeah. Uh, but then it all depends on the institution and the policies. Like why I say we have aided programs and we have self-financed programs. Like so, in self-financed programs, the institution can make some concessions, whereas in aided programs they cannot make any concessions. Like so, you have to look for institutions with the self-financed programs. They will and they can consider people who are really interested, enthusiastic, and got some background of professionalism. They will always consider the cases. Like yeah. So if you ask me whether you can join for a regular program, yes and no. Yes, it all depends on the institutions. No, um, see, we had some issues in our college, in the second and the third batches, like so. But absolutely, I find it's good to have some senior people along with the younger ones, like because they come out with a lot of maturity and responsibility. So it's a model to the youngsters, like. So if you ask me, sir, if I come to your college, whether you will take me, well, knowing you, I may say yes.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, sir.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, yes, certainly, certainly. Thank
I
you
know,
so
but
much, sir.
I know that you are in Andhra. I know Hyderabad University has got a program in MSc psychology, MSc counseling, because one of
But
my friends.
this can never happen online, right, sir? I mean,
It,
even if we try to.
if you want to do it online, I know a couple of universities like Calicut University, ma'am, Jnana Saraswati ma'am also. Calicut University offers a 1-year online program in MSc counseling. I know some of my friends have gone through that program. Calicut University, go to the website Calicut University, and you will see it's a fully online program. But then they will call you for 2 weeks of offline classes.
That's okay. I mean,
During summer. Yes, during summer.
that is okay. But if we can do it online, it would be very, very
Yes,
beneficial
it
for
is
us.
available. It is available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
Thank you so
know
much, sir.
Calicut University offers this program, 1-year program. Yeah.
Even
Noted,
IGNO is
sir.
providing.
Thank you, sir. Noted, sir. I don't
Sir, even IGNO is providing.
Yeah, which
IGNO
one,
is-
sister?
IGNO is providing.
IGNO. Yes, IGNO is providing. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, sister, and thank you so much, sir.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. You're welcome. We are here too. Any other questions that you want to ask me? Not the resource person. Today, I am not the resource person, but being the organizer, you can ask me. With regard to your attendance, we'll be attendance for the second week. We will be posting it tomorrow because our staff members are very busy in collecting all the data. So we will be posting it tomorrow.
Excuse me, sir.
And I'm glad that almost all of you have completed assignment 1 and 2. Yeah, I'm very, very happy about it. Almost all of you have completed. I heard from my staff only 3 or 4 staff, 3 members have not sent the assignments 1 and 2. We'll be sending you a reminder about that. And some have already started, sending assignment 3, because as and when it comes, I keep, read. The staff room is also, I have asked them to read.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir,
May I
3rd
know
to
who is speaking? Come
28th
on the
is
video,
the class now.
The video. See, I cannot. Please come on the video so that I can get you properly.
But here I'm in the hostel warden. They have played some songs, so I don't know whether you can hear me.
No problem. No, go ahead. Yeah, ask me the question. Yeah.
So 3rd to 28th, it was put in the invitation. But in another thing, when I saw it is ending March 1st. So when is the final exam, sir? When is the
Final exam is on March 1st.
But we have till 28th only now, like class.
No. You see the brochure. You see the brochure. It's the final assessment and evaluation is on March 1st.
First, at what time, sir?
What time? Yeah. Most likely in the evening.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Most likely in the evening, because March 1st we have offline classes in the morning, so we may not be able to conduct the online test in the morning. So most likely we will conduct it on March 1st itself, most likely from the same time, 6 to 7. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Yes, you are welcome. You are welcome.
March 1st test is written or how it is, sir? Written
It's
exam?
online test.
Okay.
It will be online
Whether
test.
it is an objective or
MCQs.
subjective type.
Yes, MCQs. It will
Okay,
be
sir.
MCQs.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah. And
Sir,
yeah.
the first and the second assignment was posted the last week, the two things that we
Yes.
submitted. And the
Yeah.
third assignment is what was given to, this week, which was is to be supposed to be submitted by 20th
Yes,
of
correct.
February. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
you will have one more assignment before the end of the program.
Yes, no problem.
Yeah. The first and the second assignment for 15 marks. The third assignment is for 15 marks. And